Okay, so I wanted to just do this vlog dead quick. So I've just finished my second day at uni, and we were working with a theatre company called Quarantine, and they were discussing portraiture in like self-portraiture, and it started off by showing us some paintings and like looking at how they were presented and how maybe certain things were presented in a way that maybe evoke different emotions or different feelings for you to be looking at those paintings, and whether or not they were trying to externalize internal emotions. And it got me thinking about how stand-up is quite self-portraiture in terms of like how you present yourself. And this is just a little thing I wanted to just mention, that when the performer's selecting to present their next piece of material, their next thing that they're going to show to the audience, whether that's a joke, a story, or whatever, they're creating a live portraiture of the version of themselves that they want to present to the audience. They're presenting it within the parameters of the art form. In this case, it'd be stand-up or improv or sketch, for example. But they're presenting themselves within that setting. But because the audience is watching and reacting to what they're presenting, it also affects how the performer presents it, and how they move forward, and how they select their next thing that they're going to tell that audience or present to the audience, in the same way that a comic will do jokes and stories, and then maybe branch off into different forms and stories and patterns, maybe within the room or what's going on. And it made me think that the audience, although they're watching and reacting, they're also participating in the portrait making, because the performer will select what comes next based on their reactions. So your image visually that you first present may be the only thing that you actually have complete control over, and even then, that may have already been influenced by your online presence, your headshots, your publicity. So it made me think like how much actual influence you have in terms of what you present, first and foremost, without that audience interaction, because you're ultimately bouncing off of whatever the reaction is within the room. And I feel like a lot of stand-up does explore this. Comedians often presenting themselves in a stylized manner that is slightly removed from how they are off stage. And because I've often said that like you on stage and you off stage are like two slightly separate people. Like you are in this situation where you've got a microphone, where you've got a spotlight, where you've got all these people looking at you, and when you're off stage, you're not quite in those same parameters. I also wanted to discuss that I feel like at mainstream and fringe shows, this portraiture is displayed to various degrees. And in my experience, I feel like more mainstream kind of shows are more interested in the portraiture of portraiture theatre, but it seems like critically, critics seem to value the theatrical side of how you could present those portraits. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out. Anyway, again, I'm sure no one's listening to this, but if you are, I hope you are enjoying it. Catch you in a bit. Oh, I also thought this was probably worth mentioning, that this is the theatre company. This is their show that they're doing. I'm going to go watch it. I mean, be cool to see anybody there. doubt anyone's coming from my bit of publicity, but who knows? Right, catch you in a bit. Oh, and I'm gonna try to start like referencing stuff like that, just because these are going to eventually, become part of my essays and my assignments and stuff like that. And if I'm, that's one of the little key parts of being a student, reference as you go. All right, catch you in a bit. Oh, one more thing.